Good morning, guys. So, I first and foremost wanted to thank all of you who took the time to read my blog yesterday on what I hadn't shared on Instagram about my disordered eating. I know it is a prevalent issue and problem that a lot of us have, and I know a lot of us suffer in silence. So, I just wanted to put that out there. And I don't put personal things like that out there to get attention or pity or, oh, I'm so sorry you went through that. Don't, I'm not looking for pity. Um, I see those pain points as stepping stones to help all of you out there. So that is why I share my story, and I really appreciate you guys that take time to read it and ask really good questions and give me feedback, because that lets me know. And I write down your guys' questions. Like, I keep them in my planner and a journal to make sure that I touch on those topics, because I believe each and every one of you deserve to be heard. So I just wanted to talk about that real quick. I know in my Instagram bio I have, and Instagram bios are so hard. Like, there's so much that all of us want to put in there to really give like our followers and our people an idea and a sense of who we are. I have, healed, Crohn's, and I lost 55 pounds like via carnivore. But I also wanted to talk about like what carnivore doesn't heal, because it's not a quick fix. And for me, yes, it did help heal my disordered eating, because it took away basically like my big trigger foods, which I already knew like what my big trigger foods were. Carbohydrates, sugar, I just don't really have a very good relationship with them. And now, like, I'll be 39 next week. I reflect back when I was a child. I know exactly the things that I was eating that caused more problems for me, not only physically, because I have Crohn's too, for those of you who are new here, just emotionally. And I realized like the past trauma and the things that I experienced as a kid, through therapy. And guys, don't be afraid to go to therapy. Like, it's really good to get this stuff out and talk to someone who's a neutral party. It just overall helps you be a more well-rounded individual and a human, like whether you're in a relationship or not, or whatever. Like, it'll just help you be a better person. And even if it's just simply to understand that it's okay that you're wired the way that you're wired, and you're not, as I say, 50 shades of fucked up, which whatever, we're all 50 shades of fucked up. Just own it, but use that pain to help other people out there, and also to help you become your higher self. And this is another reason you guys will figure out I have like ADD brain. Like, there are so many things I want to talk about, so I have to write them down. So do what helps you. But let's just dive into this. So I wanted to talk about like what carnivore doesn't heal. And if you haven't read the blog that I wrote yesterday, link is in my bio. Everything, basically all the links, all the info live in my bio. Just click on that link tree and it'll take you to my blog and you can find it. But carnivore doesn't help heal the relationship with yourself per se. It will remove a lot of trigger foods if you're one like me that has problems with carbohydrates and sugar and things like that, or autoimmune issues or sensitivities to like basically freaking everything. It will help, but it's not going to be a quick fix to heal your relationship with yourself, because that's really like where the disordered eating is coming from. You guys have to realize that. So even if you hire like the best coaches and doctors and practitioners in the world, if you don't work on your self-awareness and why you think and do certain things, and figure out a way to help you vibrate at your healthiest and your highest and redirect those negative thoughts, if you don't find approaches like that to help you, like, you're never going to get to that higher level and where you want to be. Okay, you have to go through that deep and dirty and nasty time, and it's painful and you hate it, but you have to do it, guys. It's absolutely essential. So you guys just kind of wanted me to talk about kind of my past, like, what happened as a kid. I went over some of the details on my binge eating and disordered eating, but as I reflect now, I know a lot of it came as, scarcity mindset as a kid. I love my family and I am very, very grateful for how I grew up and the parents that I have. But I know a lot of not only my body issues, my self-esteem issues, but like my money story that I told myself, my financial issues throughout the years, I know all stem from this scarcity mindset as a kid. Like I wrote about it, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for money. We don't buy expensive things. You don't need that. And that translates into you're not worthy. I have to work hard for money. I need to save because you never know if you're going to have enough. I grew up with 2 brothers. I'm the oldest of 3. So, like if you have siblings, like you guys compete all the time. We have to fight for everything, whether it's not only like food, but clothes or whatever. So you learn that you have to fight tooth and nail for everything. And I know that's where a lot of it came from. Like with food, I was like, well, if I don't eat 4 pieces of cake, I'm not going to get any because my brothers are going to eat it. And it's a fucked up way of thinking, but it is what it is. And I know now as an adult, that's probably what was going through my mind. So I was overweight. I had no idea what I was doing to my body. I didn't know what proper portion sizes were. Kids are mean, especially like middle school age. You guys are like little savages. Like be nice to each other. Kindness is always cool. Remember that, the golden rule. My parents did teach me that. Because it really does mess up a person's self-esteem, not only as a child, but it translates into your adulthood as well, or it did for me. I was a compulsive overeater. As I talked about, my triggers were carbohydrates and sugars. And I relate this to an alcoholic, which a lot of us that have food addiction and problems with sugars and carbs, it's the easiest way to put it because people just like to brush it underneath the rug. Like, oh, it's not a problem. It's all in your head. No, it's a real problem because I know if I have one brownie, I want to fucking eat that whole pan. And you better get it out of the way. I will think about it all night if I have one. Like it's just the way some of us are wired. But I know that now. And once you guys know that about yourself, self-awareness is your superpower. Once you take that superpower, you can do so many different things with it. So I knew I had to change food options. I had problems with like chips, cookies, baked goods, candy, sugar, boxes of cereal. I would literally, in like the thick of my binging, and it comes from restricting too. So we have that diet, restrict, and then binge cycle. Because we're always chasing a smaller body of ourselves because we think that that's going to magically solve all of our problems. We don't come from it from a health perspective. We're just thinking aesthetically. And this all goes back to setting like realistic goals and comparing to social media and things that are photoshopped and things like that. As coaches and practitioners, like us sitting down with you and making sure that you have a realistic idea in your head. 1, what's your healthiest body look like? And 2, are you comparing what you want to look like with a body type that is not genetically possible for you, or maybe you don't like to work out the way that they do? Just little things for you guys to think about. But, we don't think about what we should look like and feel like from a health aesthetic, or a health perspective versus an aesthetic perspective. And when you choose a carnivore lifestyle or meat base or whatever, because there's 50 shades of the carnivore diet, you really need to come at it from a health perspective, not an aesthetic perspective. Because it takes, the adaptation period is a long time. It took me really probably a full year. And I've talked about it before. I put on 15 pounds and it was probably weight restoration that my body needed. And I knew it. Like, I've been a coach for years. I knew that I needed to go through this period. It was super uncomfortable. It was a huge mind fuck. I hated it. I had to buy new clothes. And I talked about that in my blog yesterday about, you wear your clothes don't wear you. So wear clothes that are flattering and make you feel good. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Stop keeping smaller clothes and telling yourself, well, I'll lose those 15 to 20 pounds and then I'll fit into those jeans from high school. Bitch, get rid of the jeans. All right, get rid of them. Like, your body is meant to change. It's not going to stay the same all the time. Like, you have to stay in the now and nurture the person that you are right now. All right. I just wanted to say that because I used to do that all the time. I would save teeny tiny little things and be like, you know, and it just brings negative thoughts into your mind like, bitch, what have you done? Like, you have put on 10 pounds, you used to fit in these, and now you don't. And the funny thing is when you look at old pictures of yourself, you know, when we have body dysmorphia and body image issues, it's fucked up. Like, we'll look in the mirror and you may be 100, you know, your lowest weight, say your lowest weight that you were, and you still don't think that you're skinny enough. All right. And this all goes back to what carnivore doesn't heal. That's your relationship with yourself. This is a perspective. It's not food that's fixing that problem. It's you. All right. It's you who is seeing yourself as that. So you got to learn to rewire your brain and redirect things. And I talk about all these in the blog. It's hard for me to put it all out here and try to keep these videos short. So things that helped me, because these were the big questions, take it one day at a time. You guys got to start with one little shift at a time. It's the same thing with changing your diet. Total overhauls don't work because it's overwhelming. So pick like the 2 or 3 biggest things that are going to help you and do that, whether it's focusing on protein. Maybe it's cutting out carbohydrates because they're trigger foods for you emotionally and physically. Maybe it's just making sure you hit your steps during the day, getting sleep, things like that. Those are going to help you. Pick the big rocks. Setting eating windows helped me. So I'm an abstainer, and I talk about being a moderator versus an abstainer when it comes to food. An abstainer is someone who cannot moderate. Like, we can't have a handful of chips or one cookie without wanting it all, and it consumes our whole thoughts. We do better with food rules. We do better with specific, I hate saying diet plans, but regimens for ourselves. I would set eating windows because I was a compulsive nighttime snacker, or just overeater in general. So like, really, I hate saying intermittent fasting because it gets a bad rap. Like, fasting really is just setting periods of eating and not eating. That's all that it is. It's a tool. It's not a dirty word. So I would say, Katie, you ate dinner, no more food after dinner. Because then I would know, like, hey, you've eaten enough. Because our satiety cues and our hunger cues get totally thrown off when we've been binging and restricting. Our body doesn't know what to do with food. And I still say, like, I had to have my gallbladder taken out back in 2013 because my body didn't know what to do with food anymore. Because I had gone through so many periods of not eating and then binge eating and then throwing up my food. My body was like, fuck you, we don't know what to do. And I had all kinds of health problems, reflux, like you name it. And I know it was a product of stress and not eating correctly. So think about that. If you guys are having those issues or eating too fast, slow down when you eat with digestion. Don't drink too much water like when you're eating because it dilutes your digestive enzymes. It's harder for your body to break down food. So really just sit and eat mindfully, like enjoy your food. Chill out, like just chewing your food. I think we're supposed to chew like 32 times. None of us do that. Slow down. That'll solve the majority of your problems. That all ties into like portion sizes. So tracking helped me because it made me realize I was eating enough food in a sitting, because those of us who don't have those hunger and satiety cues that are normal because we've endured all these eating problems, we don't know what it feels like to be full. We don't really know what a proper portion size is. So just getting awareness and tracking your food on a tracker, take the emotion out of it. I know that's easier said than done. Take the emotion out of it. It's just black and white data. It's like the number on a scale. It's just data. It's just a number. That doesn't say you're a piece of shit because you gained 10 pounds. It is just a number. Or even if you do binge, log that food because it'll be data, black and white right there. Like, okay, I know I was too full in that meal. This is what I ate. I need to cut it in half. Use it as a tool to help you. They're not chains. They're just tools. Macros are and tracking just tools. The people in the carnivore community, and I'm gonna say it because it needs said, you guys don't have to track your food forever. But you do need to have food awareness and be consistent. Whatever your definition of tracking is, whether it's hand, like portion sizes, like the palm of your hand is usually about 4 or 5 ounces of meat, or using MyFitnessPal or Chronometer, or carb, whatever, there's another one. Just be consistent with your tracking to gain awareness. It's okay. All right, it's okay. Picked foods I liked. I liked meats. I know it didn't trigger my Crohn's. It didn't trigger my emotional eating, like with carbohydrates and sugar. It took all of that out. It did significantly help with that, and I'm very grateful for the carnivore diet for that. But the carnivore diet did not heal my relationship with myself. I did, because I chose to take the time to give myself grace, get to know myself, figure out what I needed to do to make me happy. And you guys have to figure out, you're the only one that can make yourself happy. It all comes down really to making yourself happy, and it doesn't matter what it is. Thoughts become things. I'll say it 100 times. You guys look in the mirror and tell yourself you're a piece of shit. That's what you're going to be, because that's what you're telling yourself. If you constantly are telling yourself, I'm an overeater, I can't control it, I can't do this, guess what? You can't, because that's what you're telling yourself. Same thing with trying to follow a nutrition protocol. All right, you either do it or you don't. And I'll say that 100 times too. You either choose to make a decision and do what you're supposed to do, or you don't. One or the other. I'm sorry, I'd rather be a doer. I'm just gonna leave that there. So stop with the excuses. You guys can do hard things. Let's see, what else do I have here? I would eat till I'm comfortably full. We say eat till you're about 80% full. And again, tracking will help. It'll help you visualize and feel inside yourself, like, I know I ate XYZ portion. This is how I feel. I should be full right now. Versus that scarcity mindset. I don't know when I'm going to get food next. I've been restricting for 2 weeks and been dieting, and oh my God, I got to eat all this food. Like, that's what happens. It's a primal brain response. It's called survival. That is what our body is supposed to do in a period of famine. You're not crazy. It's just a natural occurrence. But the way to do that is to make sure you're eating enough food for your body and your activity level, that your body feels safe. And you guys got to learn to trust your body. So many of you do not trust your body with simple eating, portion sizes. And that's really what it comes down to. Y'all don't trust your bodies. You know, when I tell you 1.5 pounds of meat or 1 pound of meat at a sitting is probably enough, and you need to slow down and give your body some time to tell that it's full, trust your body. It'll tell you when it's ready and when it's done. You just got to slow down and trust it enough to do that. It's okay. And there's always going to be food. There's always going to be food. If you stop eating, okay, and you wait 20 minutes to an hour and you're like, I think I'm still hungry. Okay, cool. Go eat another 0.5 pound of meat or whatever diet you guys choose. You know, no diet dogma here. Just most of the people are low carbers or carnivore that follow me, or macro trackers. Then you can always go eat that extra portion, but you don't need to eat like another huge portion. Just slow down, trust your body. Positive affirmations, I talked about that. Thoughts become things. The way you talk to yourself matters. I put Post-it notes on my mirror. I have like 4 or 5 of them up there, like every day in every way, you know, I am better and better. What is meant for me will never miss me, and I don't have to chase anything. Things like that. You know, I am beautifully and wonderfully made, and I matter just because I exist. I don't care what quotes or whatever you guys need to put up there, because the more you see that, the more it reinforces in your brain like those things that you put on there. I have a Pinterest board that I put just everything that makes me feel good, whether it's a picture, you know, whether it's, you know, a picture of health or a healthy girl smiling, or a couple, or a saying that I like things that make me feel good. And when I find that I'm low vibe, I will just go back and refer to that, because when I look through those, it makes me happy. Like, it's as simple as that. Or coloring. You guys know I'm an avid colorer. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm a busybody. I have to be busy all of the time. So it helps me shut my brain off, but give my brain something to do. So try it. I swear it works. I talked about my trigger foods. Listen to podcasts that are uplifting. Unfollow social media and things that make you feel bad about yourself. Just do it, guys. Pull the Band-Aid off. It'll make you feel so much better. The problem I have with sugar-free treats is that it's kind of like you're cheating yourself. There's nothing wrong with it if y'all are moderators, and that gives you an opportunity to eat something like a treat. And I hate saying treat, but it's the easiest way to put it. You know, with all of, usually it's carbs and sugar that you're trying to get, you know, to reduce in your diet. Okay, moderators typically do pretty decent with those. Abstainers, we don't. Like, there's still triggers, guys. I don't even care if they're sugar-free. Get rid of them. I'm just going to say it. Get rid of the sugar-free treats. It not only causes gut issues, it causes emotional issues too. Because you're still tied to that sweet taste, and it still will cause issues with, you know, wanting those foods, eating more than you should, things like that. I talked about all of that. Setting realistic expectations. So when you see a photo of somebody, especially in magazines, and most of us on social media, they're photoshopped. A lot of them are photoshopped. A lot of us use filters because, you know, we want good aesthetics, good photos. There's nothing wrong with that. But just realize that that's really probably not what they look like in real life. It's probably really not. So don't compare yourself to those. All right? You just need to be pretty like you. You don't need to be pretty like her. And I posted that before. Same thing with choosing like fitness routines. If you don't like what that person does to look like, so I like CrossFit, I like functional bodybuilding. If you don't like those things, you're aesthetically not going to look like me. All right? And our genetics are different. I'll never have like jacked, like ripped six pack. It's just genetically not how I'm put together. And I'm okay with that. But when I first started my fitness journey, I thought that I wasn't good enough and I wasn't trying hard enough because I didn't have jacked abs and I didn't look like these people. It's just not possible. And who the fuck cares? Like, most people would rather you be happy and vibrant and exuberant and just a good fucking person versus single digit body fat and all she pretty but her personality is horrible, or him or whoever. Because guys, just because you look pretty, like if your personality sucks, it's just like, congratulations about your face. I don't even know where I saw that quote, but it is true. Just be a nice person. Be nice. Kindness is always cool. Trust your body. I talked about that. Journal. So you need to write out emotionally how you're feeling when things like binging and stuff like that happens, or when you feel bad about yourself. You guys journal it, just write it out, brain dump. It doesn't have to be like perfect grammar. My grammar and the way that I write is terrible. I like to write the way that I speak, and I do not worry about proper sentences and grammar. Guys, just get it out on paper. It really releases like a lot of emotional weight. So, okay, I've talked long enough. We're like almost at 23 minutes. So I hope this helped you guys. I'm going to try to put out more videos because I know you guys just, you know, it helps you get to know us better on a more personal level when you can like hear us talk and stuff like that versus writing things out. But I hope that helped y'all. I'm going to get off here and I love you. Bye.